What's going on, guys? That was Rollin' by S4G4 featuring Guap Dad 4000, and I actually have them right here in the building on Northbound. Let them say something. I mean, you guys are just nodding at me so quietly. I'm a little nervous here.
We gave you the eyes, you know.
What's going on? This is Dem and Joel from S4G4.
What's going on, everybody? I'm Riddell from S4G4. What's poppin'?
So S4G4, I want to talk a little bit get into it, about the name. So a lot of people, I guess, call you S4G4, S4, and Saga.
Saga, yeah.
And how did this go about? And, you know, I guess you guys don't mind being called all of these different things?
Yeah, you know what? You'll take it.
Yeah,
for the most part, at first we like Saga. We're like, yeah, that's a dope name. We're both from Saga. Mm-hmm. And I don't know, through the years, like S4G4 just kind of stuck with me, at least, you know. And I think it just sounds a lot cooler, like a better ring to it, you know what I mean?
Yeah. Well, it definitely makes sense, like when you see it, like it says S4G4, but it also clearly says Saga. So I'm like, okay. And you guys have been making music, I want to say, since your debut single in 2018. But how long have you guys been knowing each other and making music as well?
Yeah, we've been doing this for like a long time. Still, yeah, but get closer. Yeah, we've been doing this for a long time. I think like probably 15 years at least. I've known this guy. We've been making music. He was his own solo artist. I was part of another team back then. And then, you know, we were kind of making music for at least on and off for like, 9 years? Long time, man. And then we finally just came together and made S4G4, you know what I mean? Because every single record we were on together, we're like, you know, we have like...
He used to manage me, actually, at one point.
Oh, wow, that's crazy.
At one point, I was his engineer and I managed him. I wasn't even... I was done with being an artist for a bit.
So before the music together, so you guys met where, in school?
No, I actually... So a girl I was dating, one of my ex-girlfriends, was like, yo, there's this kid, he's dope. You know, he was young, but he was actually a YouTube star back then.
Okay, watch
back in the day.
Jeez,
he was actually like really big on YouTube. Like,
okay.
He was actually, no cap,
I did not know that.
He was huge. He was like ranked like top 20.
Oh shit.
I took most of it down because it was hella embarrassing, but I regret it now. Yeah. But
I feel you.
Yeah, he had like millions and millions when YouTube first started.
Something like that.
Damn.
Yeah, and so, you know, my ex was like, you got to check this kid out. So I checked him out and I'm like, yo, he was actually fire. So I just linked up with him right away, put him on, started making music with him. But at the beginning, it was more of a management thing, you know. I wasn't really doing too many records with him.
Okay.
And then, you know, things kind of progressed where I just started jumping on some records and he was like,
no, he would actually help me. He'd be like, yo, this would sound good here.
Help him write, help him write melodies, help him write shit. Like,
and then he heard himself on the mic and he's like, I'm like, bro, you got to get back into this. I'm like,
so was making music, Riddell, for you, was it with him first then?
No, I was making music prior to that. I was an engineer first. Like I was engineering for like...
But I mean, sorry, not making music, I guess being a vocalist.
Yeah, no, I was already, I was doing that from the jump, but I took a break because like I had done it, you know, and I was focused on a couple other things. And I just seen how talented he was and I was like, yo, I gotta help, you know, I gotta manage him. I gotta like work with him.
Well, that's already, you know, so many roles in itself because you've already... you know, mentioned artist, vocal artist, engineer, manager, you know, and
engineering was probably the hardest though. Like I used to fuck up the files, and he'd come back when he's like, "What'd you do to the files?" I'm like,
"No, this guy I tried
to engineer myself."
This guy, you know, kid. I'll tell you guys a story. Okay, we have a computer with all our files on it. So I brought all my studio equipment to his house so he could make music on his own. Yeah. I showed him how to engineer a little bit. I showed him how to load up the files, whatever. Right. So I leave the computer with him. Somehow he moves like a root file. Like root file, the entire thing crashes.
Everything.
We lose thousands of records. Okay? I come to his house. He's like, yo, I couldn't
even talk to him. I'm like, he's like, what's wrong? I'm like,
because he knew I was gonna snap. Yo, he told me what happened. I'm like, yo, I'm gonna go out for a cigarette quick. At the time I smoked, I'm gonna go out for a cigarette. I'm gonna come back. I never came back.
This guy cut.
I left. I literally left the guy's house because I'm like, I'm not coming back because I'm
So then how did you get those files back?
We never got those files back. Oh. We stopped making music at that point. That day, we stopped making music for like at least 6 months.
Oh, so that was the hiatus.
That was
That was because of Dem and Joel, everyone. That was because
I was only singing in the shower at that time.
Oh, no. Okay, well, that is firstly hilarious. You know, that just goes to show like the strength, well, first of all, in your friendship, and like you guys have been through some funny ass shit together. I can definitely tell.
It was retarded. I'm still cheesed, actually. Fuck.
That's fair.
So with your first, you know, single, Bruce Wayne, in 2018, how did that come about? When were you guys like, you know what, let's just make music together. Let's put together S4G4. When did that happen? And why? Why finally, you know, you guys have been working together for so long. Why was there that decision to finally put the group together?
I think like that time, it was like it was more about like the friend group that we were around. Like a lot of my close friends, and like he got close to them too after a while. Like Ryan, Farhad, those are my brothers, you know, and they were always a part of the music. And then it was just a time where everyone was just kind of on the same page again, and it was like a perfect time to form a team and really start this music up again for real. Because we had
system.
We had other runs at it. Like we had other times where we went with the music, it didn't work out because we didn't have the right focus, right team around us, right. And this time around, it just seemed different. So there was like a perfect timing. We went on a trip actually. Me, Farhad, Ryan, for Ryan's brother's like bachelor party, and then we all started talking about it. And this guy he couldn't make it to the trip, but we had all this music already done. So we're on the trip and we're all bumping the music. He's not there, unfortunately, whatever. But we're all talking about like
excited.
I'm like, let's just do this for real. Like let's do something. And they got on board. And he was on board. And we did it for real. And we signed the paperwork. We got the corporation started. We incorporated the company.
Like during that time, it was the belief system. Like once like we were like. We're hard on our music, you know, like just like a lot of artists are, but we heard it back and like, yo, this can actually really hit with like the right push.
And do you find then, you know, it's easier to work together because you have that person to lean back on, right? 100%. Rather than when you're an independent artist.
100%.
So interesting, you know, before this, you know, when the music was playing and I was speaking to them both outside of our little studio here right now, one of the questions that I was coming up in my head and I was laughing, I was like, you know what, I'm going to save it till we're on air. I'm not trying to poke, you know, any fingers or right now, but a lot of girl groups and girl duos don't last. And seeing you guys just communicate and talk, I'm like, wow, I can really see why like duos with guys work. And it's just like your friendship is there, but also like the connection, the dedication to the music. And it's so interesting, like, you know, with the story of you deleting all those files. If you two were women, I'm gonna call it out. There would be like a petty argument over that, you know? It might be like a major beef ting. So it's really interesting that you guys are have such a strong friendship, and you can tell that it's not forced too. Like sometimes people just get put together. So it's really nice to see.
I've been through like I've been through a lot with this guy. So like it takes a lot for him to piss me off now, you know, because he's already pissed me off so many times. You know what I mean? So like now it's like how he has to be creative to piss me off. Now you know
I gotta like hang glide and like throw a rock at him.
Like I'll bury him in peanuts.
Oh my goodness.
He has an allergy, you know, so he's fucked.
So take me through a performance with you guys. Are either of you do either of you have stage fright?
I actually do. Like right before, but once I get on the stage, and
it's like, gone.
Unless I have like tequila. If I have tequila, I'll do anything.
You're good.
Yeah, I think like me and this guy, we tend to drink before we perform.
It does help, yeah.
Alcohol courage.
Sometimes, I'm not gonna lie, sometimes I get, it depends. It really depends on the show and like my mood that day. You know what I'm saying? And then like, there's been incidents like one of our boys, Farhad, he used to be like, he's still part of S4G4. He was part of our management as well. And we performed with that guy, and he's like he's a crazy performer.
Yeah.
He's so amped, like he's running around like crazy.
Yeah.
Like we were performing one time,
and he's tickas. Like he's a big boy.
One time, and he tried to pass me the mic, and he hit me with the mic.
Oh my goodness!
And we're in the middle of a show, and I was just like, hit me right in the lip, and I was just like, but I had to like not be cheesed because I'm like, I'm on stage right now, and like, it like my mood changed, and then I had to get back to normal again.
That's
you know what I'm saying?
funny.
And all those little things affect you on stage. It's crazy, but it was jokes. Like,
so when was the last time you guys performed?
The Mississauga event.
Yeah, the last thing we did was for Mississauga, the city, Mississauga Music or whatever. We had to do like a show, but there was no one there.
Yes, I remember
they recorded it
in the big studio.
Yeah.
But I feel like that itself, I don't know, maybe I'm just, I guess new on the scene, but like a big space like that is intimidating itself.
Honestly, that was more nerve-wracking than actually having people there.
Exactly.
You can't even be like, yo, how everybody feeling today? And there's like that one guy behind the thing. Just chilling.
It was wild. Like, there's a guy like, I'm not lying to the guy's like way back.
Yeah.
And he's like, no energy.
That was good. We're like, I'm like, what?
Yeah.
I'm like, yo, should we go again? Like, what are we doing? I don't understand. And then, these guys were wild, man.
I literally am cracking up that you guys are making me forget what I want to ask. So I'm like, that is so funny. I wish I need to be at these performances. Like you guys need a behind the scenes crew with you at all times and bring that YouTube back.
Nobody, I'll tell you that much. I was looking at
it's mad awkward though.
That's so funny. So I guess so with the new, so with the big spaces, it's intimidating. And then also it's like, how are you filling the room and, using all of the space to your best ability?
Are you jumping off the stage and landing on the ground? Or
exactly. So what have you guys been up to then in quarantine since, that performance was had to be in 2019 now?
No.
20?
That was 2020.
Oh, yes, because it was with no audience.
We did it because it was like a lockdown thing,
But before that, you guys were performing and doing a lot.
Clubs every week. Every week we're at an event.
Exactly. So what's been different in the last? I mean, a lot has been different, but
we've been working. Honestly, like we had enough in the vault done, so that it's more been like now just marketing
finding
plans
out what we're gonna do.
What we're gonna drop, putting the projects together. But in terms of recording, we kind of just slowed down on that.
Yeah.
He has his own hustle on the side, you know what I mean? And I have my own thing on the side. Like I
sell lemonade on the side.
Okay, holla at him for some lemonade. You already know.
I clean turtles for a living. You know what I'm saying?
Well, one of the songs that definitely caught my attention was Stranger. And tell me a little bit about that song, because that song is fucking like in my head at all times. I was like to Triz, I was like, you need to use this for the trailer because I'm always singing it. Tell me about that. And what is your inspiration behind writing and music these days?
Gibberish.
Yeah?
Gibberish, no, literally. Like, I think how the song came about was shout out to Fax. He's the one that engineered and produced it. I actually didn't really like it as much, but Earth's like, yo, this beat, this beat. He's like, the beat's fire.
That was my record first, okay? And then I had done that. And then he was like, the beat. First, he didn't like the beat. Then I recorded it. Yeah. And then you were like, all right, it's all right. And then it grew on him.
And then it grew on me. And then I was like, I just don't really hear too many songs like with that type of beat. So I'm just like, you know what? Like we actually did our thing on that. So.
But yeah, the actual song is like basically like about it's. I gotta be careful what I say here. So it's like you've chilled with someone before, like this person from before. But all of a sudden, you're acting
switched up.
So it's Toronto then?
Essentially. Yeah.
Cool.
It's basically, okay, there you go.
It's Toronto. It's a song about Toronto by Saga, by S4G4. Amazing. Well, you know what? We're going to get into that song right now because you sold it. It's one of my favorite tracks. Don't go anywhere. We're going to continue the conversation right after this song. And that was Stranger by S4G4. Yeah, I was just telling them how I ran into Damon Joel actually. Where were we? At the exhibition? Yeah. I don't even remember how many years this was.
I think it was like 2 years ago.
Mm-hmm. And it's so funny because I vividly remember you, and I remember being like, his face looks so familiar, even though it was your friend saying hi to me. Yeah. And I was like, and now look, we're here. But back to your music. Yeah. So Stranger, that was a fucking banger. And you guys also just dropped another single, Fall. And you guys have been dropping bangers after bangers, and it's really interesting because it's like consistent. And you've been on really, really great playlists like Northern Bars and all of that. I really want to ask, about the success and how to get there, because a lot of people tuning in are local artists, and they look up to you, and a lot of people are like, say a word, you have them on your show, like dead ass. The amount of DMs that I actually got, people are fans. Like, and I was like,
why are you surprised, bro?
Yeah, right. I'm over here,
so much.
Right, I'm over here shaking a little bit too. Like, it's you need to really pat yourselves on the back. So, you're managed by Block Trade Music right now. And when did this start?
Yeah, Block Trade. We linked up with them like November.
Nice.
We still have a great team. Like we have our brothers with us from the beginning, like Farhad, Ryan, Matt. These guys were kind of started and pioneered the way for us. And things changed. People have their own lives to deal with and stuff like that. So Block Trade just happened to be there to kind of jump on when these guys changed roles. And it's been an absolute pleasure working with them. They've been really good. I think the success though was like it was over time. It wasn't because of one super catalyst. I think it was literally it took like think about it like this. We signed papers in 2018 for S4G4. We're now in year 3. right? It took 3 years like to even be able to get to the point where we have a consistent amount of listeners across the board.
And see, I think that's what some people don't understand, which is like, yes, a management team, will help, but you still have to put in that work.
People need to know,
you need to deserve a management team in the first place,
know that
right?
That's not like a flip of a switch. Like it's not like everyone. That's how we used to think too. It's like, oh, you get the right team. Oh, it's just I need the right management. They're gonna link me up with the right people. Then everything's just gonna take off.
It's about your work.
It's a day by day process. Like it's a day by day struggle. It's not even anything else. If you don't have like 3 albums of work ready to go and like plan out your strategy and be like, okay, I'm gonna drop this consistently. Like we drop music consistently for that reason, because when you're in a deal, you have to drop music consistently.
And even before all like the playlisting and stuff like that, word of mouth was our biggest way of getting ourselves out there. We used to be at like all the clubs just promoting ourselves and stuff like that.
So you guys were really like on foot doing that promo, because a lot of people don't do that these days. It's all about social media and blah blah blah. And
we had a dope support system. That's what it came.
I really like that. You know what I mean? You said you have to have music and albums ready and stuff. So speaking of new music, you guys are dropping an EP soon in May.
May 14th.
Stranger EP.
Nice. So it's called Stranger.
Yeah, the EP is called Stranger. We haven't really like dropped much about it because like we're ones to like kind of just like
when it comes, it comes.
Before we're just like, here you go, and people jump at it. So it's been good. But yeah, Stranger EP May 14th.
And how many singles can we expect?
7, I believe.
Jeez, that's a lot of music. Okay.
7, and
we got more EPs on the way as well.
Wow.
Like he's gonna drop his solo. I'm gonna drop his solo. Has like a joint tape.
Oh wow.
So you dropped that on them,
Boom. There.
Right. So now you're creating all of these questions in my head, and I'm like checking the time. Like, damn, this is a great conversation. So about Stranger, the EP, what can we expect? Is this like a summer vibe? Because a lot of your music is very upbeat, even though you're talking about real shit and sometimes dark shit. It's still stuff that you can bump to,
This is more like a consistent vibe. It's a darker emotional tape. It's called Stranger. You know what I mean? Like you can tell, it's definitely about relationships. It's not gonna be that party anthem that I know we typically drop like once in a while. Like we drop
anthematic.
Yeah, there's not really. This one is more movie. I would call this like a movie EP. This is the shit that belongs in movies. You know what I mean? Yeah, it's really cinematic. It's the visuals are gonna be cinematic. The EP is cinematic. It means a lot to both of us though. Like these are some of the records that we really, really care about.
Great. So it's like you're debuting a whole new side.
Yeah, for sure.
Love that.
Yeah, and we'll probably drop another album end of the year.
Damn. Yeah. So all this music is done and it's ready.
We don't even. I
love it. Right now. The room is so relaxed right now. Like the vibe is great. The sun is shining. It's a beautiful Friday. So about your individual EPs, you have both projects, right?
Yeah. So like, look, we.
Did you drop like news here that no one else knew of or something? You're like,
sorry, I guess I got nervous.
Yeah, he dropped it, but it's okay. Yeah, we're basically dropping. We're gonna drop like. Cool. There's nothing in stone like how it's gonna go, but there's gonna be one side is all his music, one side is all my music. How we drop it, we don't know yet, but it's gonna come out for sure.
So that's so interesting then. So it's like, it's like your individual perspectives, but still with that group element. It's like a mixtape, you got the side A and the side B.
Essentially.
That's so cool.
Where we're headed. Yeah, that's where we're headed with it.
Amazing. And so are you guys going to, stay under the same name S4G4 for this, or are we bringing out your names?
These are good questions.
I am a curious person.
These questions she's asking are literally like our last meeting. This is like our last meeting that we just had. Like I swear to God, these are the same questions we went through. But we're still figuring it out, to be honest with you. Okay. But it'll most likely be dropped under the same brand, and we're just gonna showcase our two sides because we've had to meet each other halfway. He's an R&B guy. I'm a trap guy, and I've been singing more and he's been rapping more than we should be, So it's like we want to go back to kind of our natural habitat, if you will, and
make that music that you. Don't get me wrong, you guys are making music that you want to make, but it's like music. Get back to your roots of like what feels comfortable, what you like.
Also,
no word of a lie.
Just to tell a story of like who we are, like individually.
Exactly. And no word of a lie is that that will probably be the best music you ever heard from us.
I'm excited for it.
I guarantee you.
I'm super excited for it. Well, I'm so excited that you guys even shared that news with me because I feel super special. You guys, don't kill me. So if we may or may not leave this out of the YouTube video. You never know. But Let's go back to the YouTube real quick, because I feel like we need to end the conversation with this YouTube, because I was actually creeping you guys on YouTube, and you guys do have really good visuals, and like your behind the scenes that you do have were making me laugh. Like I was laughing.
Oh, you did your homework.
Yeah, I do my homework. I try.
Honestly, like YouTube's not a place that we focus on really. Like we literally don't like. It's not like our main avenue. Like it's just not. But we want to do more shit on you. Like we need to drop more visuals because they're funny. Yeah.
Right, and like I feel like you have this personality that is shown so much more when I'm with you in person and videos than your Instagram, because you guys are very mysterious. Don't get me wrong. And do you get that a lot? Like people are like,
it's just because we don't post it.
True.
Our friends are like, nah, you're not mysterious. True. But like, yeah, I get what you're saying.
Yeah, no, like people who don't know you in person, definitely like who are just messaging me, like they don't know. The two of you individually.
And that's something that we're trying to work on. We're trying to showcase ourselves more. I think right now is just a time where me and him are super busy with just things going on. So I think you're going to see a lot more of us, like that side of us, like coming. Like this 100%. Year, 100%, like you'll see us like fucking around a lot.
I love it.
Yeah, we'll be back.
And so, let's get into your collaborations a little bit, because you guys have been collaborating with, quite a few artists.
Yeah.
That Rolling song is one of my favorites that we were talking about it with Guap Dad. So how did that come about? Because that song is, honestly, it's one of my favorites. And when I even realized, like, I put the connection together, I was like, oh shit. Like, I was like, this is lit. Like, I was amped for you guys. You know what I mean? But like amped even for him. Like, I was like, this is just like a major collab. I loved it.
I think I don't even see too many people like Guap is just a funny human being. Like the guy is just a character and a half. He's a real star boy. Like he's it was.
I wore a 12-foot do-rag to the ground.
Like
even when we went on live with him, and he was just like vibing to the song, and he's just like in his zone all the time.
Right.
So he's a good guy. So we were. To be honest with you, this song was already done. This was just a Guap song. This was not a Guap S4G4 song. We did not make this like. We jumped on his record essentially.
That's crazy.
And it just worked out, and he loved it, and he was like, the vibe is sick. Like you guys got my blessing. Let's drop it. Yeah. So it was kind of like that. But shout out to Block Trade. Block Trade made that really happen. Raw Sounds. Raw's the producer. That's one of our bros.
That's crazy. Now that's saying a lot in itself for like you to do a verse on a record that wasn't supposed to be for you in the first place, and for the artist to be like, nah, like I need them.
It worked out the way.
But you know what's funny? Like all of our our Block Boy JB record, like we did the hook for Block Boy JB.
Yes,
but like that was not. We weren't supposed to be on that record either. Armin and Block Boy already had a record.
I was just about to talk about this for the Enemies song, right?
Yeah. They had a record, and then R hit us up and was like, "Yo, listen, bro, like I need a hook for this." Crazy. So I did the hook. DJ helped me out with. We did the hook, and these guys were like, "Yo, that's perfect." They ended up dropping it, cleared it with Interscope, dropped the record, everything was good.
It was perfect. Yeah, no, I listened to that too, and I was like, this is fire. Like, what the fuck? Like,
thanks.
Holla at me. Like, you guys trying to do collab? Like, please.
Actually, no, you might. Still, you're pretty fire.
Oh, thank you very much. So, who are some of your local favorites? Because something that I really like, bringing up on Northbound is that support really doesn't go unnoticed. And I know a lot of the times Toronto artists actually really fuck with other Toronto artists. And, it's a big family. So are there any, people that you like or their sound or you're willing to collaborate with?
It's always a sticky area to talk about, isn't
it? There's a lot, man. There's a lot. Like, there's a lot of talent. And not even just Saga Toronto. Like, Forever Friday is a guy that...
Forever Friday, we fuck with that guy a lot.
Me too.
Like, he's really dope.
Yeah.
Hopefully there's something coming. We'll see. Who
knows?
Well,
you both have something in common where, like him, it's consistent bangers.
Yeah.
Like, and even with
he's
the
different
beats.
He's the one that put me onto Forever
Friday. No, I like that.
I show people Forever, from before. And he's definitely someone, I think more locally, like, around here, like, there's people that we obviously fuck with because you see us do records with them. People like Devin Tracy, that's our boy. New, Harmon.
Yeah.
Savannah Ray's.
Savannah Ray, that's one of our homegirls.
Love it. That would be, oh my god.
She's hella dope, man.
That collaboration would make me faint, I think.
There's a lot. I mean, I couldn't even begin to think. I don't want to.
There's a lot.
That's the problem when you start talking about this, and then everyone's like, "Did he say my name?" And
right.
Then you're trying to think to yourself, like, "Yo, did I mention everybody?"
But that's okay. If you were missed out, I'm putting them on the spot. I'm not telling them about these questions, but for sure.
Shout out to Sunny Diamonds, our main engineer right there. So.
And so when you guys are making your music, this is going to be my last question, just because, you know, the collaboration is so strong. Are you guys writing your music together as well then, and majority of it?
Yeah. We write, me and him write everything together.
Nice.
Like, cause it's actually messed up. Like sometimes like, you know, he'll write better for me and I'll write better for him type of shit. But I think majority of the time we write for ourselves, but like there is those times where like we write better for each other. You know what I mean?
And is there ever like fighting over who gets to say what? Like, yo, that's my bar. Because that's what I would be like. I feel like that's a girl
like, yo,
thing.
Take this bar be fired for you.
Bro, when this guy's gonna do it, I'm like, yo, go ahead, bro.
You're like, go ahead.
Like I could just sit here and actually just enjoy a drink instead of having to record every time, you know?
That's so funny. Well, thank you both so much for joining me. Again, S4G4 in the building here at Northbound at Key Radio. It's been so nice to have you, Riddell and Dim and Joelle. And, you know, to end the show, we're going to play your other single that's fucking fire. So we're going to play Soul. I was like Soul because it's giving me such a soul vibe. No, because you guys are singing. And I'm like, wow, I didn't expect this like slower, emotional kind of vibe from you. But this is Fall by S4G4. And make sure you share the Key Radio app with all of your friends. Tell everybody you know about Northbound. And stay tuned for the recap episode. So if you missed parts of our conversation, you'll be able to watch it on YouTube. And again, thank you guys so much for coming.
Thank you.
And I will see everybody next week here on Northbound.